This is a summary of the Hudson Phamily Show, which only lasted one season. The Hudson Phamily is the name given to members of a rock band that are all members of one family and live in Los Angeles. The father and bassist of the band is Daniel Hudson, who also works as a scientist in a biotech research lab. The mother and keyboardist is Maria Hudson, who works as a nurse in a hospital. The lead guitarist of the band is Matthew, age 19. Unlike his parents, he is totally focused on music as a career. 11-year-old Tommy is the drummer. But while Daniel may be the brains of the band, it is 15-year-old Suzanne, its lead singer, who is the band's heart. She is actually the main character of the series. Though not a member of the band, Carla Movinsky, Matthew's 19-year-old girlfriend, helps produce the band's music. The Hudson Phamily were introduced in a pilot episode which featured Debbie Smith and Carrie Sims, who were fans of theirs and were attending one of their concerts. The following year, the band were special guests at both the UU Youth Conference and the General Assembly at Boston that Debbie, Carrie and others from the small town in East Texas attended. Suzanne was a lesbian and longed for a girlfriend she could have an exclusive relationship with. She sometimes fell into periods depression as a result. The band had released one album and were talking of making their second, but those plans were threatened by Maria being badly injured in a car accident. Maria was on her way to work when she was struck by a drunk driver and ended up a patient at the hospital instead of a nurse. Her injuries were life-threatening, but she survived. At the same time, the record label the band was signed to was putting pressure on them to put out another hit record as soon as possible. So Suzanne was asked both sing and to play keyboards instead of her mother, and Carla was made the bassist, freeing Daniel to focus more on helping his wife recover. With this modified lineup, the second album was soon completed. While visiting the hospital one day to see her mother, Suzanne is drawn to the NICU unit, where she views the babies there. Dr. Lee tells her about a baby named Diana that her mother died giving birth to, and there is no one else to claim her. So Suzanne persuades the rest of the family to adopt Diana. Carla and Matthew decide to get married so they can be Diana's new parents. With the Hudson Phamily's second album completed, they prepare to make their first music video, and they meet with an experienced director to plan it out. They go to a set made to look like a pirate ship and begin performing, but then the director comes up with an idea for Suzanne to increase her popular appeal. She is given a bikini that makes her look almost naked. When Maria sees the outfit, she is furious and attacks the director, forcing him to back down and allow Suzanne to dress normally for the rest of the video shoot. Several months later, Suzanne, wanting more control over her music career, decides to record the solo album, and she immediately begins making a new music video. For this, she teams up with Laura Park, who just moved to Los Angeles from the town in East Texas, where Debbie and Carrie live. The chemistry between the two girls on the set of the music video is powerful, and Suzanne is delighted to learn that Laura is also a lesbian. After the shooting for the music video is completed, Suzanne asks Laura to be her new love partner, which she eagerly accepts. The Hudson Phamily is later informed that their second album was a flop, and so they are dropped by their record label, though the label is willing to offer Suzanne a solo recording contract. Suzanne later meets with Laura in the basement of the Hudson's home, and there Suzanne loses her virginity with Laura. After hearing about what happened to the Hudson family, Elizabeth Lessie, grandmother of Carrie Sims and owner of her own record label based in Miami, offers the band a recording deal that has terms more acceptable to them. Several months later, Suzanne and Laura attend the premiere of a new movie Laura starred in, Karate School. Suzanne's atheism as well as her support for abortion rights causes her to clash with Scott Miller, who at the time was still a devoted Jehovah's Witness. The Hudson Phamily goes on tour again, and when they arrive in Texas, Laura and Suzanne meet once more with Debbie and Carrie. Carrie is still recovering from the beating Ted Wilson had inflicted on her back in May. The four girls all become friends to each other. After the tour, Suzanne's eyes are examined and she is told that due to a genetic defect she was born with, her vision is severely declining and she will eventually be blind. Suzanne thus receives a stronger pair of glasses, designed to look much cuter than the earlier ones. Tommy is now age 12 and faces an embarrassing situation. He has hit puberty, but hormonal imbalances are causing him to have gynecomastia, an abnormal enlargement of male breast tissue. He consults his sister and asks if he may be transgender. So to test this idea, Suzanne has Tommy wear girls' clothing and makeup, and his hair is restyled to look more feminine. Then they, along with Laura, go to a shopping mall. This almost results in disaster. Despite Tommy clearly being underage, he is hit upon by an older man who mistakes him for an actual young girl, and Suzanne and Laura have to drive the creep off before he can discover the truth about Tommy. The experience is quite disturbing to Tommy. When Tommy returns home, he tells his father what happened and asks him to arrange for Tommy to have plastic surgery to reduce Tommy's excessive breast tissue. Daniel agrees to the procedure. And so ends the Hudson Family series. After the series was cancelled, the Hudson family members would continue to make occasional appearances in later seasons of the Debbie and Carrie show.